What I gotta know is when it's low. That's what I want to know via that telltale there and what it's going through.
Knowing what's going on out on the field, being able to read the play as it's going on, maybe knowing where the thrower is going to throw that disc so that you can react to it. The horse really got me free of the pack, and we ran free, and I got a couple lucky bounces and was able to put in the goal.
This is Santa Barbara Living. A look at the Santa Barbara way of life.
We've got a great show ahead of us featuring international polo and ultimate frisbee,
as well as competitive hang gliding. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What about the flights today, Ken? I notice you're taking off at a point just above here at the polo grounds. Is there some concern for wind? How do you get the craft to do what you want it to do?
Well, basically the aircraft is a weight shift controlled aircraft, and they provide a level of control that's equal to any aircraft. In fact, we're able to take off from the small hills and fly. In fact, one guy just flew 221 miles, just set a new distance record. So they're absolutely controllable to the extent that any aircraft is absolutely controllable, and as long as we read the conditions, just like you have to read the conditions when you fly an airplane, it's quite safe to do.
Now, this whole contest with the George Hammond Perpetual Flying Contest kind of christens the notion that man has always wanted to have wings. You have them right here. What's the feeling when you get out in that craft in the open sky with just yourself and the sails?
It's everything you can imagine it is, and a lot more. It's like the best dream you've ever had, and then some.
Now, George, I understand that you're responsible for bringing about this incredible event. Is that right?
That's correct. My father loved flying, and that's what he did all of his life. And at 80 years old, he purchased a hang glider and was a little too old to fly it, but used to watch all the time. So in his honor, we did this for him, and he lived 1 year to see the first event.
Well, that must have been quite a sight. I understand that he had quite a brilliant career. Apparently, he built planes with Lockheed here in Santa Barbara. Isn't that right?
Lockheed started under the name of Lougheed here in Santa Barbara on Lower State Street, and they built their first seaplanes here, and I'm not sure the exact year. I think it was in the teens or the 20s. And also, his mother backed Lockheed, was one of the original backers for Lockheed.
Now, apparently he also worked with Charles Lindbergh on the Spirit of St. Louis. Is that right?
Yes, he went down to take flying lessons, and then he was an engineer and started working with Ryan Aircraft, and they were responsible for getting the plane, the Spirit of St. Louis, together. So he worked on that and then guarded the plane the night before it left San Diego to fly to New York for its famous flight.
Mrs. Hammond, why don't you tell us a little bit about your husband's love of flying?
Well, he started as George said. And then he went into getting airplanes himself, and he's worked at the Parker Company and at the Spartan factory and many of the different factories. And then he got mixed up. As George says, he was going to fly, learn how, down in San Diego, and then he met Lindbergh. And then also he knew Howard Hughes, and which Howard Hughes has been in our house and everything.
That's an incredible history. It really is.
That's all I know. George has told you everything. That's a little bit anyway.
Okay. Now, George, this is a magnificent trophy, and I understand that you're responsible for designing this.
I designed the trophy, yes. I worked in the television industry for a number of years as an art director, and that gave me the background. My brother has a manufacturing company, so I could get him to build it. So I took and we used the V for victory, and the hang glider at the very top is a stylized version of Otto Lilienthal's first hang glider. And we tried to kind of keep it in the trophy tradition. Did a little large.
It's absolutely beautiful. It really is.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you both.
Very much.
Thank you.
It was very much nice.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Fine.
Both. Thank you.
This is the final weekend of the George Hammond Perpetual Hang Gliding Contest. For the past 3 or 4 weekends, some of the top hang gliding pilots in the nation have been maneuvering their crafts through treacherous skies above Santa Barbara County down here below. And this is the climax of the contest. And one of the people, the person most responsible for this contest, is a hang gliding pilot extraordinaire himself, Ken de Russy. Ken, what possesses you to go up to those heights and sail down on such a, what appears to be a small craft?
Actually, it's a lot of fun. It's probably the cheapest way of flying and probably the most exciting and pleasurable thing you can do for the amount of money that it costs. It's a lot of fun.
What about safety? What if I were to strap myself into one of these babies? Could I expect to see the ground again?
Well, it depends on how you go about it. If you just went out to Goleta Airport and got in a plane and tried to drive it into the sky, you'd probably have a hard time doing it. But with good training and good equipment, it's probably the safest form of aviation.
What about the flights today, Ken? I notice you're taking off at a point just above here, the polo grounds. Mm-hmm. Is there some concern for wind? How do you get the craft to do what you want it to do?
Well, basically the aircraft is a weight shift controlled aircraft, and they provide a level of control that's equal to any aircraft. In fact, we're able to take off from small hills and fly. In fact, one guy just flew 221 miles, just set a new distance record. So they're absolutely controllable to the extent that any aircraft is absolutely controllable, and as long as we read the conditions, just like you have to read the conditions when you fly an airplane, it's quite safe to do.
Now, this whole contest with the George Hammond Perpetual Flying Contest kind of christens the notion that man has always wanted to have wings. You have them right here. What's the feeling when you get out in that craft in the open sky with just yourself and the sails?
It's everything you can imagine it is, and a lot more. It's like the best dream you've ever had, and then some.
That's great. That's great. Thanks a lot, Ken. More luck to you, and keep on flying.
All right, thanks.
That's Ken de Russy, one of the extraordinary pilots who maneuvers his crafts high above us to safety down below, and it's a lot of fun, too. So, if you ever get an urge, try it, hang gliding. That's it for the first edition of Santa Barbara Living, and judging from the festivities around us, Lisa, everyone had quite a time.
It's been a pretty exciting afternoon.
It really has been. I'm Tony Gelly.
And I'm Lise Peterson. Join us next time on Santa Barbara Living. Tony, what do you think we go out and party with these people?
I think that's a fantastic idea. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Bicycles are, they're all different ways of doing them. Running to goals.
Too bad all these guys really don't know how to smile that well.
I think they did, yeah. I think they, I'm not sure.
Were they going to put it on cable?
It's going to be on Channel 2?
Many thanks again to Tanis Hammond, Arthur von Wiesenberg, and Jim Drosner for their use of the Ferraris. Ken de Russy, Ted Zinke, and Jim Graham, winners today.
We live up in Buell, so we don't get any of that.
Well, maybe. See, that's what they